Mercury retrograde fashion, my setup is just doing some very interesting things. It's working in its own way, but I have made it an hour later, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm still showing up. I'm still doing the things. So welcome to the chart room, my friends. The chart room is now open. This is a space where we talk about what's happening astrologically in this moment for the week. We also do some personalized readings where I will bring up a chart. We'll talk about what's happening in that person's chart. You might see your chart in it as well, quite naturally. We carry all of these archetypes, all of the astrology in us. So we'll be moving on to that in just a little while here. But before moving onward, I really want to talk about a couple of transits that are coming online. First and foremost, we have Mercury, which is retrograding in Cancer. We also have Neptune retrograding in Aries. And lastly, we have a new moon in Cancer coming up on July 14th. Now, first, let's think about this Neptune and Aries transit. Neptune is the planet of bigger vision, big picture thinking, right? It is the planet of the collective consciousness as well, or at times the collective unconscious. And with Aries, we're giving birth to something new, a more spiritualized, more higher octave idea of what Aries is all about. And this is where the contrast from Neptune and Pisces really comes in, because Neptune and Pisces for 14 years, it was really bringing up through the surface, the foggy mirrors of it all, this idea of the spiritual self. So in the spiritual self-explorations of Neptune and Pisces, where everybody was kind of spiritually awakening, everybody was really exploring the esoteric, the occult. Of course, it's not everyone, I'm generalizing here. Now it's to put that spiritual self in action. Neptune in Aries flips the script. It's to really pioneer a sense of self that can still carry the emotional, hearted nature of Pisces, but with the passionate fire of Aries in action. So this is why many astrologers talk about this era as being the birth of the spiritual warrior. Birth of the spiritual warrior in ways that it seems like how we show up today needs to have some confrontation, some conflict attached to it. That's the only way we get to clarity. Neptune and Aries is that bubble burster transit, which goes boom, okay, cool, breaking your delusion, breaking whatever reality you're living in, and planting the seed of a different reality, one that is more urgent, which is different than how docile Neptune and Pisces can be. This sort of hippy-dippy of unity consciousness and oneness and the non-duality of it all, the passivity of it all, which can be very Piscean, of like, oh, well, that's too much. I'm protecting my peace, protecting my perception, protecting my bubble, right? Very delusional. This whole, the Delulu is the Solulu ideology came through during Neptune and Pisces as well, in a very dreamy sense. But if that Delulu is bypassing the reality that we're living in, then where's room for that exploration as well? That's the Neptune and Aries-ness of it all. It is conflict, it is confrontation, and it's clarity through confrontation. It's clarity through doing the brave thing. It is the spiritual warrior in the sense of we carry that sword, we carry that shield, and it requires us to react in a way that the capitalization of spirituality, how it's bred this sort of docile, domesticated, just, no, that's low vibe, not gonna handle that, not gonna do that. But the low vibes are here. What do we do with that? It doesn't mean we can't be high vibrational and still work with the low vibe. In fact, I think that's what Neptune and Aries is really all about, is to be able to be in the low vibe with the high vibe. What life are we preserving? What sense of self are we really carving through here? Something worth looking at. especially with Neptune retrograding in Aries. For 5 months until December, Neptune is retrograde, right? Neptune, that planet of spirituality, is retrograding in the self. It's an inward exploration of what new self is really being called to action here. We cannot be passive about what is happening in this world. We cannot be passive with the things that make us uncomfortable, understanding that it's essential, it's data, it's information. Pick up a copy of Art of War by Sun Tzu. You know, the war is here, and the spiritual war, which is a very Neptunian and Aries a concept here, the spiritual war starts with self. Starts with self. So as many different dangly things try to distract us, what is you? Who are you amidst all of that? That is that Neptune retrograde moment. Now, on top of that, we also have Mars retrograding in Cancer, and pop culture astrology loves to talk about Mercury retrograde as being the excuse as to why technology is not working, why the ex that suddenly texts you through the DMs or something. Mercury is a planet of review, and understanding that any retrograde planet, it is a concentration of that energy. It amplifies, it makes that specific archetypal conversation louder. With Mercury retrograding in Cancer, the conversation, which is very Mercury, the planet of conversation and connection, is about Cancer, is about care, is about nurturance. Either the lack of care, the lack of nurturance we're pouring into this world, the things, the rules, the ancestry that perhaps has planted a distorted definition of what care looks like and what care could look like. It's a review that either A, we have needs and we have to express that I have a need to a family, to a friend, to a partner, whatever that is. Or B, looking at your lack of pouring into those sort of egoic responses when it comes to care and nurturance, in a sense of like, oh, well, this person is going to take something from me, so I'm just going to hoard these resources. I'm going to hoard this care to myself, to only this group. But can we really open the heart here to delicately explore this dance between the lack of care and the care we're being called to rise to? Now, for some of us, it's absolutely, we got to ask for help, right? We can't pour from an empty cup. Absolutely. And for others, it might be recognizing that the cup is full. Whatever this cap is on this cup as well is worth reviewing. That, self-care, this whole self-care ideology, it's very Cancerian of like, I'm going to care for myself. I'm going to go into my cave. I'm going to go into my bubble. But this idea that self-care has created these silos where we protect and preserve our peace, and to a sense where we're not actively engaging in bridging and creating care, even when it's inconvenient for us, even when, let's say, we don't think we have the resources. I think care at times can be inconvenient, but I would rather show up with what I got than to not show up at all. And that's something worth exercising here. Because this conversation, the drama of it all, is only going to amplify, my friends. Is only going to amplify. There is challenge here. It's not impossible challenge, but there is challenge. There is challenge. The echo chambers are going to get louder. And the self that is being called to action is one who can intentionally dissolve the ego. Very Neptune, dissolve the ego, very Aries, the ego, in a way that we ardently put our heart on stage in full display, even in its most inconvenient times. How can we take this moment of Mercury retrograde to review how we show up in care, how we show up in love, not only for ourselves, of course, always rooting in that in self, but knowing when it's time to step out of self and to be in service. Okay, so that's the tension here. With that new moon coming in Cancer on July 14th, we're looking at planting a new seed, a seed of care, a seed of nurturance, a seed that goes, okay, I'm tired of crawling up in my cage. I'm going to reach out to my closest friends, the people that I love, and come on over. We're having a dinner party. We're having a potluck. We're having a game night. I'm going to reach out to my family, the people I've gone no contact with, and I'm going to do the brave work of rehabilitating those relationships, rehabilitating those familial connections, understanding that whatever sort of gripes we have with our family members, with mom, dad, sister, whoever that is, whoever the family is, chosen family, absolutely, whatever this tension we have around them is a macrocosmic conversation of what we're all navigating collectively here with this Mercury transit. So can we do the brave Neptune and Aries work of being a leader in regards to rehabilitation, restoration, all of those wonderful things? Being brave is the thing. All right. So that's what we have. Neptune and Aries, Cancer, retrograding with Mercury there. We have a new moon in Cancer happening on July 14th as well. For friends, if you are wanting to be a part of my new moon workshop, it's going to happen on Monday. Then I highly recommend you check out the Collective. The Collective is my private membership where you get your new moon reading, full moon reading. You get an online community as well, workshops, courses, all the many wonderful things. There's a 14-day free trial if you want to try that on. It's linked in my description on YouTube. It's also linked in my bio on Instagram if you want to check that out. Lastly, little shameless plug before moving on to this personalized reading here. If you want to be involved in a 6-week container where we tap into this fire, like evolutionarily, revolutionarily, I'm talking about your Aries, your Leo, your Sagittarius, which we all have in our charts, then try on Elementals. It's a 6-week masterclass. It's a hybrid pre-recorded modules, 4 live sessions. I walk you through Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius in your chart, where to find it in your chart, how to access this fire, this passion, this drive, this expression in the most evolutionary ways. It's pinned in my Instagram feed right now. You can go ahead and check it out. There's only 5 more slots available. 5 more slots available. So check it out, see if it's for you, and if not, totally fine. There's payment plans available as well. If you're watching on YouTube, it's linked in the description as well. Again, up to you. 6 weeks, exploring astrology, integrating it. That's the vibe. That's the jam, okay? Now, onward and upward we go here to some personalized readings. We have one reading on the books for today. And if you would like to book a reading, again, it's linked in the description on YouTube. You can comment chart on Instagram if you would like a 15-minute little mini reading right now. So check that out. If it's for you, great. If not, no pressure. There's no pressure. But in the meantime, let me pull up this person's chart here so we can get this going. Apologies for the delay here. But for Alex Bobbitt, this is for you, friend. Let me just put in your information here. If you're watching on Instagram or on YouTube, wherever you are, just let me know you're here so that I can dive into this reading. And if not, you can watch the replay. The replays are posted on my YouTube channels. Oh, what's up? Wilmington, North Carolina. Love it. My partner's family is out there. So it's great. I love Wilmington. We love Wilmington. Happy, happy, happy. All right. Let's see here. So for you, Alex, let's see what's happening here. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, just double checking this info here. Okay, so For you, Alex, let's go ahead and talk about this here real quick. So in regards to you and things to consider here, first and foremost, what I'm looking at right off the jump is this stellium right here in Capricorn, okay? Capricorn energy in this first house. We have Uranus, we have Saturn, we have Neptune, we have the sun in Capricorn as well. So whenever I'm looking at someone with a concentration of Capricorn in this first house, I think you would really benefit from the fact that some things are meant to be hard. There is challenge in this world, right? There is challenge in this world. And the challenge here is all about integrity when it comes to Capricorn. Is to be integrous with yourself. And whatever sort of obstacles that people put in your way, it's to look at that mountain and to find an alternative that feels closer to who you are as an individual. It's to really test yourself here, to test who you are constantly and to see if they're in relationship with who you are, what you're really showing and demonstrating. Sagittarius rising, so there's a philosopher, there's a believer steering the ship in your entire chart. There's an optimist that steers the ship of your whole chart. There's rooted in belief. We get rooted in belief, and sometimes that belief is beautiful, it's expansive, but when it's too stuck, when it gets too stuck, that is where we have to massage a little bit of this north and this south node energy over here. Now, as an evolutionary astrologer, North and South Node are my jam. This is where most of my focus lives. South Node being that karma, the baggage, what we've come into this world with, and the North Node being the stretch, the North Star, what we're eventually meant to embody here. Now, there's some tension here because South Node Virgo, when we're looking at Virgo, the shadow of Virgo is what we're looking at here. Now, Virgo at its highest octave, it is humble, right? It's humility, it's service. Virgo the Virgin, there's a level of purity that Virgo comes into this world with, and how when things are in order and things are in its place, it's so beautiful. Finding beauty in the details, finding beauty in those tiny details that somehow altogether make a whole of something, create something beautiful, right? It's understanding systems, really getting down to the microcosm, right? And how the microcosm mirrors the macrocosm. Virgo is humble in the sense of there's a skill that is missing, and then Virgo does the thing of like finding the mentors, finding the people to teach them those skills, to make themselves and in turn everyone around them a better person as well. So there's this level of improvement here living in your chart where Capricorn is that mountain. What mountain are we climbing? And that mountain is you with this first house, right? Getting over and to the top of yourself. And Virgo is about skills, the skills we build, the training of the training that it takes to finally reach the summit of that mountain, the peak of that mountain. Now with South Node, we're amplifying the shadow of Virgo here. And the shadow of Virgo is an obsession with what it's wrong, versus the higher octave of Virgo is the curiosity with something that might be off, leaning in that very curious way and doing diligently the work to get things in order. But the shadow of Virgo is getting so obsessed on what it's wrong, forcing it, trying to fix it, trying to make it something that it's not. It's taking purity politics to its highest standard, right? Especially in the house that it is in the 8th house. The 8th house of damage, the 8th house of secrets, the 8th house of inheritance, inherited grief. It could be inheritance as an estate, of course. It's a very naked and vulnerable house. And here, South Node Virgo takes on an obsession with the shadows that lurk in the closet. And this sort of, no, we need to fix this. And if we don't fix this, then it's going to be impossible for us to move forward. Instead of understanding letting go of this hyperfixation of things that are wrong, especially when it comes to other people, letting go of this hyperfixation of things that are wrong, and more so embracing a narrative here that we're all trying in our own way. In a very North Node Pisces way, the highest octave of Pisces over here in your second house, we are all children in the eyes of God. Now, I say that phrase already understanding that there might be resistance here, especially as queer peoples and whatnot, if there's religious trauma there as well. But expanding the idea of God as not being this like patriarchal dude in the sky who's just like hovering above all of us, more so as an energy of God, right? Universe, source, spirit, whatever that is. Source is there, ready to embrace us. She's not keeping tabs. Universe is not keeping tabs in the sense of like, well, once you do X amount of good things, then I will give you X amount of good things. Actually, your karmic debt is really, really intense. Like the receipts are receding and oh my gosh, you got to pay all this off and then I'll give you your rewards. Universe doesn't work in that way. There's not this karmic debt we have to pay and then boom, we reap the benefits, we reap the rewards. The benefits, the abundance comes through when we let go of the why it's not here. When we forgive, opening ourselves up, allowing the fullness of the experience in, and still choosing love, still choosing acceptance. With this South Node in Virgo and this obsession in this 8th house with the details, with the things that are wrong, all that it's doing is creating resistance, especially when it comes to relating to other people and relating to oneself. I would say in many ways, you don't have to prove yourself to anyone else but yourself. Knowing who you are without apology, while also knowing and keeping accountable to yourself where there's room for improvement instead of projecting that outward onto other people, is part of the work, is part of the big work. North Node Pisces, accepting, allowing, forgiving, most importantly in the second house of your value, your worth, what you have to offer, your body. So it's less about forgiving others and more about forgiving yourself. More about forgiving yourself. South Node Virgo, you know, in its like very distorted idea, it's like, oh, but I've committed a sin or they've committed a sin. They are impure. And in order for us to be pure in relationship with one another, then I have to call out all of their impurities. And it's how that colors and shapes this world as being something that is something we have to fix, right? But the North Node Pisces mission here, understanding that it's your nodal return. Right now, the nodes are in Pisces and Virgo collectively. So we're all exploring this conversation. And the way I see South Node and Virgo really showing up in this world is this like just puritanical calling out on what it's wrong, instead of really understanding where that tension lives inside of us. Like, what is the dream? What is the North Node Piscean dream? What is this compassionate world we're wanting to build together? And how is this resistance with this obsession with the tiny little things that are wrong preventing us from just purely embodying the alternative instead of ripping everyone to shreds? Now, mind you, there is a time and place for accountability. There's a time and place to reach that point. But you will see with your North and South Node specifically that forcing people to be accountable for themselves is a recipe for disaster. The most reliable way to get to rehabilitation is by first holding yourself accountable and then trying to really compassionately understand the other person by asking questions, by really holding space for their shadows, because you know how important it has been for you to hold space for your own shadows, right? And that's what it really means to be God here on earth, understanding that we all have God within us. It's not egoic to think that, but walking through this world as that demonstrator is what this North Node in Pisces is all about. And of course, it's Capricornian informed with all this Capricorn energy. It's this idea of like, no, actually, there is a boundary here, and boundaries are love. But boundaries don't need to shout to be heard more. Boundaries don't need to pick other people apart to be understood. Boundaries are for you, and they're held with the simple no. That's it. There doesn't need to be explanation. There doesn't need to be fluff here. So if you're wanting to rehabilitate the family systems, if you're really wanting to live in your queerness at its most highest octave, right? It's to really forgive yourself and in turn find forgiveness in others who just don't understand. And that's okay. Some people just don't understand. It's hard. It's really hard for those realities and those perceptions to be bursted. But to reach rehabilitation is to wholly, authentically understand how someone came to a conclusion about who you are as an individual, and then still see yourself in that. That is North Node Pisces here. And when we see ourselves in each other's pain, in each other's intolerance, in each other's ability to understand and understand, then that is where we can rehabilitate. That is where rehabilitation truly begins. It's through understanding. Through understanding. All right? So that's what I have for you, dear. Thank you so much for your trust. Thank you so much for your reading here. For friends who are wanting to book in the future, please book a little mini chart room reading. If you're watching on Instagram, then comment chart and I'll go ahead and send you the link for these chart room readings. I also do deeper one-on-one readings as well outside of this container. So there is that. If you're watching on YouTube, then it's linked in my description. Go ahead and check it out in there as well. Also, last little thing before closing up this container, 6 weeks, elemental fire starting soon. If you want to connect with your fire, your Aries, your Leo, your Jupiter, your Sagittarius, your Mars, your sun sign, that's all fire, right? And we all have it in our chart somewhere. I created this program. I've already facilitated the container, and let me tell you, the growth has been wonderful. The feedback has been wonderful. I'm running it again just because Jupiter is in Leo, Neptune is retrograding in Aries, Saturn will soon be retrograding in Aries as well. So this theme about fire, this theme about connecting with that fire, how we connect with our fire, is going to get louder. And that's why I'm doing another 6 weeks of elemental fire. Go for it. Check it out. It's pinned on Instagram. If you're on the feed, you can see it pinned. You can go to that link to find out more information. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and check the description in there as well. I'd love to have you. Spaces are limited. Seats are filling up fast. I try to keep these containers intimate, and I'd love to have you there. All right. On that note, I will see you for the new moon in Cancer on Monday. How exciting. New moon in Cancer, July 14th. I'll see you on Monday, and we'll talk about the new moon in Cancer more, which is July 13th. Tuesday is the new moon, depending on your time zone. And thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your love. I hope to have like a session with you soon. Say goodbye to everybody in the space before heading out. I know this was a short one. It's technical difficulties definitely did something, but I'm just surrendering. I'm saying yes and trusting that the value I'm pouring out into this container, into the space, is exactly what y'all needed. So, love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for being here. And yeah, thank you. Bye, loves. Bye, friends. Thank you. Amazing.